Today on Chesapeake Shores, we're talking all about the past. Or maybe not. All that and more with special guest Kirsten Hansen. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Chessies. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. We are here doing Chesapeake Shores After Show, Season 3, Episode 9. Forward to the past. We're almost there.
Yes.
We only have one more episode left. This is the penultimate episode of this season. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. Joining me, we have a full panel today.
Hi, I'm Carlina Will.
And then we have...
Hello, I'm Tay Alexandria.
And you may notice we also have a special guest, Kirsten Hansen, who is the writer of this episode.
Hi.
Welcome, Kirsten.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're so excited to talk about this episode. You co-wrote this one, actually, with Michael Burns, and you wrote last week's episode by yourself. So, so thank you, and congratulations for all of Season 3.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, so
thank you. We're so blessed that we've got to do this for 3 years. I mean, it's we love the show. So it's funny, it's like a whole year since I was here last time. So.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nice. This is my first time being in the studio and actually meeting you in person, so.
Right. It's
very happy to be here.
It's always fun to have people in the studio, and we're happy to have you here. So we're just going to get right into it. So much to talk about. Overall, quick thoughts. Carlina, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to start with what I've been waiting for, that whole meeting with the team, the family and, Megan. So I'm excited to dig into that. Also, Connor got somebody back. And then... And then Sarah and Kevin, I really love their relationship. Got to meet the family, so I'm excited to dig into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tay, how are you?
Well, Trace had me on an emotional roller coaster with his decision making this episode. I don't know what, he finally got it together, but I'll get into that. Danielle and Connor, who Carlina didn't want to name, but not exactly happy with that relationship unfolding. And I know I'm scared to say these things.
No, actually, I love it. It's
Gosh.
great. You got to be candid. You got to just, speak your truth.
Got it.
Yes.
And of course,
These are our truths.
and of course, David is like my ultimate TV boyfriend, so I'm trying to Anyway, love this episode.
That's the consensus
She
for
just
a lot of
confessed
people.
this. I've never known that you would confess him as your boyfriend.
He is my ultimate. Thank you for creating him. He is my ultimate TV boyfriend.
He was in my episode.
Perfect. Yes.
You wrote that episode.
106, yeah.
Thank you. So much. I have so much hope for my life.
So, he gives us all the hope that there are good men out there.
Yes.
Right? Yes, like that. And I like to think that, too. So, yes, a lot happened in this episode. Drama, some funny moments, too. Yeah. We'll definitely get into Kevin and Sarah going to Philly, Connor and Danielle. Caroline. What?
Whoops.
What?
Hello?
Whoops.
And
twist.
yes, just Jess and David, and of course the whole family drama at the end. We're gonna get all into it. But Kirsten, having Season 3 almost done, what's the response been so far?
Really good online. I mean, the fans are, they seem to be really, really loving this. You see all kinds of feedback, but for the most part, it seems to be everyone's like, oh, this season's going really deep. We're really getting a chance to get to know the characters more. And by now, everyone kind of knows the O'Briens and Trace, so you're rooting for them all that much more. And then once we're going to deeper places, I mean, everyone was sobbing last week, and
Right.
Sorry, I keep talking away from the microphone. Everyone was really sobbing last week, and that was as a writer, you always want to make people cry. It's like an ultimate goal. Can I make them cry?
Yeah. Well, you did your job, definitely there. And we had a lot of emotions at the end where, I'm not sure if it's crying, but it's just what do we feel?
It's like awkwardness.
Yeah.
I don't know how to where my emotions were.
Yeah, no.
Emotions all over this.
And that was our plan, was to kind of leave us in a what? Because the O'Briens don't talk. And so, the way to end it truthfully would be that it doesn't get resolved. And also, it's, we didn't want to, there's still a whole other episode to deal with, and there's more to say. So
Exactly.
couldn't all do it all at once.
Right. Let's first talk about Kevin and Sarah. So Kevin finally meets Sarah's family, which I think I guessed last week. I was like, what's Sarah's family like? Finally, we get to see them.
Right?
I'm glad we did.
And isn't it?
They're awesome.
Aren't they awesome?
They're so awesome, unlike the Pecks, but they're so awesome. They're so awesome. Kevin did a great job, especially with the man handshake. It's like a man thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty strong.
It was strong.
Yeah.
And
I felt
the whole
it.
back slaps.
I know her dad seems like super kind of intimidating but like lovable, but like he could break my hand. Yeah.
Yes.
How many takes did you guys have to do with that to make sure to get the effect of like strength?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but yeah, they're pros, so they probably just got it in like one or two. That's our our way of doing things. Yeah, they just like, let's just do this. Just like.
I really love the family, at the dinner table, and they were arguing about who asked who out. Like,
oh my
come
God.
on, Sarah. Sarah, we all know you asked him out. I don't even know why she was trying to play.
Yeah,
she was eyeing him first.
Yes.
She totally was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's probably that normal. Oh, go ahead.
They both kind of like that moment at the crime scene or the crash scene when they both
they flirted.
Yeah, I mean she was playing it real cool because that's Sarah's sort of like MO is to play it like cool. She comes from like a whole bunch of brothers. She's not like a girly girl. She's
tough.
She's been raised to be like to hold her own, and but she gave a look.
She
totally.
totally did.
She saw him.
Then the number on the ticket. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
He asked you out. No, he didn't.
I loved how they rehashed their memories and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's true. It was fun that it seems like they've been together for so long, and so if you think about it, it's only been like a few months.
Yeah,
in just the
time,
Chesapeake Shores timeline.
Well, yeah, we're sort of saying that there was a bit of a time jump from season 2 to season 3. It was about 3 to 4 months or so, and then there's been some time that's passed now. So yeah, I mean, officially it hasn't been that long, but
But I love them. They're great.
They are.
I love her
favorite.
family.
Yeah.
And they were on the screen in less amount of time than the Pecks were, and I was like, I kind of want to be part of that family.
Yeah,
they're just so nice
and welcoming.
Yeah,
totally welcoming. But did anybody catch the reference about Polly's? Did anybody?
Polly's. Yeah.
Okay, so has anyone been tracking it? So we set up
We
Polly's.
missed it.
Sarah told
And
it.
Jessica told us last week.
Yeah.
And we're like, so Polly's restaurant. It's Sarah's brother.
Yeah, that's why Paul, and he makes so, because we set it up, I think that was in episode 5 when Trace and them go back to Nashville and they're arguing about who has the best fries and blah, blah, blah. And John Ross like, Polly's, hands down, best fries. So we were trying to keep the Chesapeake Shores universe sort of like interconnected. We thought it was very clever. So.
I like that because it also kind of goes along with the whole idea of it's such a small world.
Yeah.
People are connected in that way.
Agreed.
It is.
Yeah, we
like
like that too.
Truly is a small world.
But what were your thoughts when we got the approval from the father of Kevin?
I knew it was gonna happen. Kevin's a good guy.
Yeah, right?
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
And a scholar.
What's not to love?
Yeah.
And you just see the way that Sarah looks at him and how they are together.
So in love.
He brought her back. She brought him back. It was like that moment.
I love that line.
Yeah.
That was great.
I love that line. She did the same for me.
Yeah.
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 All the girls go.
Swoon.
I was not surprised. I was like, if he didn't approve of him, I'd been like, what?
Yeah,
That would have been shocking.
Yeah.
That would have been shocking.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can see this family a little bit more. I mean,
Yeah.
Sarah's now in Philly, but do you think this is going to last long? You can't really answer that because you kind of know.
I can't answer that.
Right.
No. But I will say that you'll get a better glimpse into it next week.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Tease.
Okay.
Tease.
Spoiler.
Cool. Tease. All right. Moving on to Connor and Danielle. They're back together. Did we see this coming?
Unfortunately.
Me and
I
Carlina
honestly
wanted
didn't
her.
think Danielle was
Didn't
gonna
we
come
cancel
back.
her out?
We did, and
We
I
canceled
told
her out.
Michael was sitting right here where you were, and I told him she better not be coming back, and he brought her back anyway. But it's fine. Or was it you? Who was it?
In all fairness, in all fairness, the show was already shot, and Nick was in editing at that, so we couldn't really just like delete a whole storyline.
I know. We have to let them go through it. It's fine.
Yeah, we got to let them go through their process.
What process?
But Danielle is back. I mean, I like this time around that she actually apologized for the way that she handled it the first time. So good on her.
Tay, see, I'll give you points, Danielle, for apologizing. Tay doesn't care, but I'll give you points.
We said last time Connor was growing I feel like he needs to grow as an individual.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing an amazing job. Relationships tend to take up a part of your mind that sometimes should not be tapped into when you're trying to figure yourself out.
Yep.
I think not yet. Maybe like season 5.
He should do like payback and tell her like, you know what, I'm gonna go see somebody else.
See, that's the pettiness level I would do.
You think it's payback or just like...
He should just say it and see how she reacts.
No.
Be like, I've grown from you. I'm over this. I'm just kidding. No. Stop.
Goodness. Carlina.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, they just have a little bit more of their journey to discover. And the thing about Connor and Danielle is when they started their relationship, they went full into like the physical. I mean, as physical as we get, they kissed right away. But they went right into that, like right away. That's the first time we were introduced to her, and that was always sort of their dynamic, was that it was like fun and playful and not very like, they didn't go into the heart of things. They didn't get too deep with things. They both had a bit of a wall up, and that's something that we're seeing with Connor, having been one of the youngest who was sort of abandoned. They all have, everyone in the family has been dealing with this sort of abandonment issue, and like, what happened with their parents in their own way, and it's sort of rippled out in their relationships. And I think Danielle is a bit of a mirror for Connor in the way that they both have sort of kept their walls up and not really been as intimate, maybe like communicatively, as they have been, like kind of just playing and having fun. So I think this is giving them a chance to actually sort of speak from the heart, and then they can decide, and actually be real with each other.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Y'all, let's give them a chance.
Well, our lovely chat has a lot to say.
Yes, what are they saying?
Let's say Debbie Bailey says, I'm not crazy about Danielle for Connor. There's something I still don't trust about her. Agree. Okay. And Jordan Blackstone agrees with Debbie too. So 2 points for Taylor. And I'm just kidding. Who else? I mean, that's pretty much it. Connor, I feel, can grow to be the most important character in the show. Yeah. I agree.
He's grown
I just feel like he needs more
He
time.
has,
yeah, he's grown. I'm really proud of him. I don't want him to go backwards from being with her. That's my only thing. If she makes him go backwards, she's gone. In my head, she's gone. Like, Marisa's going to ask about her and be like, who?
I was more so surprised that Danielle came back so soon. Maybe like a year later. Because there was the episode where they did officially say goodbye, and Connor kind of sent her off on her own way, being like, I hope you're happy in whatever decision you make. That seemed like very clear out for her. And then she came back maybe like 2-3 episodes later. So it didn't seem like just in real time, a long enough time to really figure out your life.
Yeah, and no, it's a very good point. So, but I mean, we only have one more episode, and then we've got hopefully a whole other season to explore the complicated Connor O'Brien.
But they're back together now.
They are back
Connor
together.
and Danielle.
Yes,
so
they kissed.
Yes, they have kissed.
Did y'all see my tweet got so many likes when I said my face was Kevin's? When
I think I like that one.
Connor told Kevin, like,
Kevin was like,
yeah, he was just like, he just took a sip of his beer, like, nonchalant about Danielle, and then getting back. I was like, that was me.
Yeah. I think this relationship is still very up in the air with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it just does need to take
I think you need to
figure it
build
out.
trust, like Connor needs to build trust. I think he's not like, I don't think he fully is just like, oh yeah, she's fine. She's not going to cheat on me. She's really trustworthy. I think there's going to be a little bit of a, and we'll see that go. I mean, we don't have much time in the next episode, but we'll see that going forward. Okay. Like that she's, we're not just like, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing that
I just feel it, the shade.
Yeah.
What? My shade? You can feel it?
Yeah.
We like to split those two up because they're fun when they go at it.
I'm like the.
No, we're good.
They kind of disagree on a lot of things, but it's fun.
Right in the middle. We agree on Danielle. We agree on Danielle.
We've been agreeing so far tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep that going, shall we? With something you can also agree on is always rating and commenting and subscribing to us on YouTube, because doing that allows, us to build our fandom. And what else can they do on YouTube?
Well, I'll tell you. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. But for now, thanks for being the best fans, for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for joining us in the live chat. I see you all, Zanae, Debbie, Chris, Teresa, Jordan. Hello, everybody. Thanks.
Hi.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
Hi, and if you have any questions for Kirsten, ask away. Now is the time to do it. Let's talk about Jess and David. So they're running Sally's this week. I feel so bad because Jess seems so defeated after giving up the inn.
Oh.
So defeated.
We were all a bit defeated of giving up the inn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So are we ever going to see the inn again, or is that no? Are we going to go back?
What I can say here. Well, there's a possibility that we will, but to be honest, it was the location that we actually physically had to.
Oh.
So we're like, let's be creative, but now there's a possibility that we might be able to, but we don't know. We have to now do what's best for the story, and we have some ideas, and we'll see what happens. But yes, there were some physical limitations with the beautiful inn.
Yes.
So sometimes that's what happens. You have to accommodate things like that, and it's just, that's production, and you're just like, okay, and you have to write around it. And it was very sad. There was like a real mourning process for everyone involved. Yeah. And it was like, what's the best way to say goodbye to it, because she's obviously going to be a wonderful like owner, and she's not going to be somebody who is like letting things go, or not, couldn't be mold, or couldn't be, something, we didn't want to, we couldn't do a fire, because that's just like, that would be awful. Yeah. And it's just not in our budget, so, to burn it down. But so we were trying to come up with a way that felt, it's still going to be painful, whatever you do, but to make it seem like it, Jess did everything she could.
Right. And that was a realistic story. And so many people deal with termites, and termites have destroyed so many things. So I think that's true to what could happen at a location, but it's also interesting to realize production, you do have to work that in.
There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that you don't realize, that we're constantly like going like this, like, oh, okay, yeah, detour, oh, reroute, constantly. That's why storylines change at the last minute. Casts get added, casts get taken up, like scheduling. There's so many factors, and it's never as easy as you want it to be. But I always figure like things work out as they're supposed to, and nobody wants to lose the end, but it's going to force us to be creative and really let Jess, she's grown so much, right? Like she's really,
I'm so proud of her.
Especially like having that experience with David leaving and she having to learn how to run it on her own, and she did. She became and then it's like,
boss.
So then what? So now she runs it, and you see when David came back, suddenly it's like, oh, she doesn't actually really need him. She can do this all on her own. So where is there to grow from that? And so it actually ended up being to our benefit, because it's going to force her and David to grow in new ways that we maybe wouldn't have thought of, because everybody loves the inn. It's literally was our favorite location to shoot at, because it's so beautiful.
So, but also it kind of is a testament to how great the relationship is between Jess and David, because even though they're not physically at the end, they still work very well together, and they're still very much in love somewhere else. They're at Sally's and still enjoying each other's presence.
And David can cook.
Yeah.
Like he wants
to. Still do what he needs.
Chef, I don't know if you know, outside of the show, I'm a chef. I cook. So from David's perspective, getting that box of like ingredients that you would not expect is like every person's dream, because like a menu, like always cooking the same thing, you kind of get bored, right?
Right.
So like for him to be like, ooh, this is ingredients like, you know, I'd find in like a major restaurant,
Right.
like let me work with this.
It's not just quiche. Like he does. It's not because he's
Right.
so used to just making breakfast food.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of neat. I'll go at Sally's. I'll get to make lunch and dinner as well. But then this is
Diner
like,
food.
whoa, this is not just diner food or like, you know, your classic sandwiches. This is something a little bit, you know, more David's wheelhouse.
Exactly.
He-
I was so excited.
He looked like he was gonna have so much fun. He's like, I can work with this.
That's how you know you're a good cook, when you can like
Right.
make something
Yeah.
out of like anything
Yeah.
put in front of you.
Yeah, I'm not a good cook. So I look at that and
can't
go,
cook.
I'm going to order in.
You're like,
That's what I do.
What do I do with mushrooms and like what do you like this Kobe beef and this and you like list up all these the truffles. I'd be like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do
Okay.
with that.
I think he made like, didn't he make truffle
Right.
fries? Those are good.
Oh my God, yes. We
my
wanted to the truffle fries. We wanted to make this poutine because like fries two ways. There's one with like a cheese thing, one with a truffle sauce, and one like regular. It's basically like a poutine, but then poutine is a Canadian thing, so we didn't want to alienate the audience if they're like, I don't know what this is. So, so but it's like our, you know, it's David's version of like a fancy poutine.
Okay.
Ah, very cool. My only thought was like, I feel bad for the other restaurant that didn't get their food order.
They got
like they lost their
breakfast
stuff.
food.
Yeah, they got
I don't know.
they got like hamburger patties. Yeah.
That's the only thing going through my mind. I was like, oh, those poor people too. They put in an order and they didn't get what they wanted.
David's like,
great.
doesn't matter, I'll do it.
It'll be Tay and I. We run the other restaurant. We come in. We're like, you took our food.
Yeah. Oh my God, totally. A face-off, a cook-off.
Cook-off.
Oh my gosh.
Just picture his cook-off. But
Always wanted to do a cook-off.
also, like, in this moment, we do still see Jess questioning herself and still kind of unsure because if she doesn't have the and who is she? And I think that just shows like she's still too young to really know who she is in life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time she was at Sally's, she used to waitress, and she always said, "I'll never go back there." I mean, it's obviously a very different thing, but running the restaurant and she's still serving customers, so it's kind of, even though she's got more responsibility, she's still, it's not really that much different, you know, than when she was there before, and so, you know, she's got to find her niche again, her thing.
But I understand Jess because it's not her own though. She is working at Sally's, but at the same time, the inn was her baby. So I completely understand why she is feeling like this.
Yeah.
And David is being an amazing boyfriend.
I know.
Stop saying it. But I know, I keep going back to that.
So
Watch out for
how do you,
her. But like,
how do you feel about David? I'm just curious, like, maybe.
I told
We
you,
love
he's
David.
my favorite TV boyfriend. I don't, like, there's so many, like, so much TV I watch, but like, David is my ultimate fave.
I know.
Is he single?
We've just, David is
kinda
with
taken.
Jess, and Carlo does have a girlfriend, I believe, or I don't know, a partner of some sort. Yes, he's with
Yeah,
a woman.
David, you can't
Okay.
actually date David.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
he doesn't exist. We just write him to the like ultimate perfection of
Got
a man.
it.
Yeah.
So the only way you
He's
could
too
get
good.
there is if maybe she wrote you in as like an ex-girlfriend
I was
who
just asking
happens
for
to
a friend.
show
I
it.
was just asking for a friend.
Oh,
That would be
ideas.
great.
Ideas.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool because he's been so
There
great.
you
Hey, do you do some acting?
I know.
I'll get you there.
I know. We need to see. Yeah, we'll get into David's dark past.
I know.
Right?
Because he really doesn't have a flaw yet.
I know. He's so
doesn't. Like,
perfect.
He literally is the perfect man.
He has to have an ex-girlfriend. He's that perfect. Come on. Like, he had to have a lady. He hasn't been single this whole time until he met Jess. Impossible.
No, of course not. No,
Of
course.
No, there's more to David. We just need season 4 to tell it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like them together. Unfortunately, we lost the end, but they're having fun right now at Sally's. Who knows what's going to happen, though?
Yeah, there's
Question mark.
something kind of interesting happens in the finale for David and Jess. I'm gonna say that.
I have a prediction for that.
Boom. That's all I'm gonna say. But what was I gonna say? Something about. Oh, we actually wanted to get Sally into the episode to give them the walk around and like we've been trying to get like the real Sally back, Carmen Moore, but she was too busy.
Oh.
She was like busy on another show and we couldn't, scheduling wise, we couldn't get her. So if people are like, why, what happened to Sally? Like she's just like always missing. It's because she's very, very busy and talented actress and we just couldn't get her. And we wanted to, so we just had to write around it. But originally she was scripted into the episode that she was like, okay, here's the keys. And Jess is like, well, you know, getting the whole like run around. Anyways. that's a BTS tidbit.
No, I like that because it also makes sense that
Yeah.
she's ran her own inn. She kind of knows just the business aspect of how you start, from here to there. So it's not to sound terrible. Sally really wasn't needed.
No, exactly. I mean, really, we saved some money because we didn't need her.
Because we didn't need her. Yeah. But I do like the Sally's location. It's fun.
I was going to say, Jerry Elliott actually has a question for you. How closely do you work with...
Is it JJ?
Jerry Elliott?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
JJ.
How closely do you work with Michael Burns in season 3?
Very closely. Like this closely. Well, actually,
2 feet apart.
Okay, so the way that the table works, there's like a big square table, and then our assistant, Kate, would sit there, and I'd sit here, and Michael would sit there. And this was in our writer's room. And, it was very close. We worked on everything together. We had a whiteboard and we'd break the episodes, and then it was like the best setup. Actually, we didn't have this in season 2. In season 2, the two of us were in his office, and it was like he'd have a screen turned to me so I could see the script, and then he'd have this, and so it was like, but this time we had a projector, and like it would hang from the ceiling, and then the one back wall was like all like screen, and then he'd plug his computer in so he'd be typing and I could see, and then we'd be like writing together, and
That's awesome.
I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
More
Love-
streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
felt very like high tech in season 3. We really took it to another level, and we write really well together. I mean, we write separate also, but then there's we'll go and he'll write his stuff, I'll write mine, or whatever it is, and then we'll get together, and it's like very collaborative, and I'll be shouting and he's typing, and I'll be talking, he's typing, and then he'll type, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Right, I was going to ask that because you co-wrote this with Michael. So were there particular scenes or just characters that you focused on in this episode, and then he focused on his, and then you just kind of put them together?
Yeah.
What was that process like?
It was kind of strange. We originally split the storylines. We're kind of a unique show that, most TV series have like an A, B, C storyline, and usually like the A is the main one, and the characters can kind of interweave in the different storylines and things. But we have 9 lead characters, and we tend to give almost every one of them like a full storyline every episode. So there's a lot of story to cover, and it's tricky, but it's just we care about all of them. So you're trying to give them all space. So what we did on this one is we split it up that we each covered I think 3 or something storylines each or something for the first round, and then wrote our sort of 25, 30 pages each, and then we got together and pasted the script together kind of thing, and then we went through it together, and then we had to rewrite, and then he rewrote stuff and I rewrote, because things are always changing and evolving, and so, but we actually literally took different storylines, and then we went back and then wrote it together, so it's kind of had a streamlined feel to it.
Cool. That's very neat, and especially for those who don't really know the writing process. I find that very interesting.
I have no idea if that's the standard to co-writing something. That was my first time officially co-writing an episode, but I think it worked really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I only had to do half the work.
Yeah. And there's just so many storylines within every episode. Every time we do an episode, I was like, how are we going to cover it all? Because there's so much content.
So much,
within a whole, it's really an ensemble type of show, which I enjoy. You guys do it so well.
Amazing.
Flawlessly.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's get into Trace and Abby. First, let's kind of talk about Trace. Trace, the tour gets extended. We kind of saw that happening.
Yeah.
Right. Over to Europe and Asia. He's conflicted, as he should be.
I mean, honestly,
Tell us how you really feel about it.
But I mean, he's debating whether he wants to go or not.
Yeah.
Do you want him to go?
Well, it's a really it's a hard one. I mean, me personally, I kind of want him to go, but then a lot of people of course you want him with Abby too. So it's sort of I think this is the ultimate question. I face it. How do you have a balance, for people who are very career driven and, balancing that with relationships? It's tricky, when you want both and you care about both. And him and Abby tried that last season where, he had the offer to go on the road, and it's okay. So they took a bit of a break, and then they realized they didn't want to take a break. And, it's hard, and you love someone, but he like loves the music too. One of my all-time favorite scenes, I don't know if you guys thought about it, but was him in the band at Sally's, and they were just
just jamming out.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
That was good.
that was Michael Burns had been wanting to put a scene like that in, like he was working towards it all season. He's like, I want this. Like, he had originally envisioned it a little differently, but I think the way that we ended up having doing it is just. It gives me chills. I love it. I love hearing Brittany sing, and and then you get John in there, and it's cool.
Right.
Nice.
Do you think that Trace will say yes to the extension of this tour?
In the episode, I thought this is the emotional roller coaster I'm talking about, because in the beginning, he sounded like he wasn't going to go when he was talking to Lee. But then when he said it again, it sounded like, I think when he was talking to Abby, he made it seem like he was going to go. That's the emotional roller coaster I'm talking about. Yeah. I honestly feel like he should go. If I had a significant other with this amazing opportunity, especially international, I would want him to go. It's 8 months. I can come visit you. I will come fly, bring the kids every once in a while. It could work. But I understand why he's conflicted, but I think he should go.
Yeah. He also has the responsibility of the bridge. Clan, what are your thoughts?
I usually am not a fan about long distance relationships, but with Trace and Abby, I think it could work, which is a rare opportunity. But I think it's because he knows that she can't go with him because she has her kids, So it's a different situation. Like if she was single and didn't have kids and she's like, oh, I'd rather stay back, then he'd been like, maybe it might not have worked. Yeah, it's like, girl, have you seen me? I'm about to get an international girl.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, but I do want him to go because Abby got to go and live her dream. I think that's why they weren't together because she went. So I think she needs to let him go because other than that, I think, was it Mick who said earlier, you don't want him to resent you, in a few episodes ago? Yeah. So about the first time he was leaving. So I just don't want that to be a repeat for her. And I think he should go and she should visit him, or he flies back to visit something. But
like he's been doing, he would come back in between.
Yeah, it's just harder when
that was like a 1 hour flight compared to an 8-hour flight.
I mean, I get it. That is true. It's international in Europe and Asia.
Yeah, it's not as simple as him driving to shows.
It's not as practical.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know it's a tricky one,
and that would just add
he's
more
conflicted.
Because then, at the end of the season, and then luckily, hopefully, it picks up for season 4. You would want to know what happened within those 8 months. What are we coming back to?
I know, right?
See, that's what I want because, if he doesn't go, then I'm gonna be like, I know what we're coming back to. He's at the bridge. It's not interesting.
A lot can happen.
You just never know.
I just find it very coincidental, but probably totally planned, that if Trace contested this contract with Mick and filed a whole lawsuit, they said that would take 6 to 8 months. And the extension of this tour is 6 to 8 months.
True.
It's this is the same amount of time all this could happen. So, I don't know what is going to happen, but it's
well played, Kirsten and Michael. Well played.
That timeline was completely planned. So what's going to happen in 6 to 8 months?
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's
She's
get
not
to season
answering.
4, and then we'll be able to know what happens in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, crown me.
Because
Season 4.
we pick up, in next episode is,
Yeah.
Okay.
the next day or whatever it is,
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's pretty
Yeah.
day apart from every episode, seems like
Yeah.
it, which we'll get our answer soon. Soon. All right,
Hopefully.
let's talk about Bree. Bree had some fun moments in this episode,
Yeah,
starting
she did.
with Caroline. Caroline comes into the picture. Simon Atwater's Caroline, ? But is she really the original Caroline that's adapted into
Oh, yeah.
book of
That's
this?
who the books are based off.
I figured.
I knew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Simon was like, you're not my Caroline. I was like, but you named her Caroline.
Yeah.
She has
Well,
to be.
And look how awkward Simon was about that whole interaction. Yes, that's Caroline.
Oh yeah, it totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, it's Caroline. It's who, but he's just trying to say to her you're not my Caroline in the sense of it's not like I'm obsessed with you, and I'm I just might have based it on a Caroline, but he did a very Hugh Grantian thing. I thought he was so good in that episode. I thought he really.
He tried to tone it down for
Yeah.
Bree so Bree wouldn't feel so awkward. I feel like
Yeah, it would be a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, in that moment, I thought of Tay because, like, the way Bree was, like, grilling him, like, who is this? Like, are you sure? You know, you got the limes right? You know, like, I was like, that is so Tay. Tay would be grilling her man, like, who is this girl?
Like, I have questions.
Yes, you would.
The way, I'm so mad that she's right about this. Like, first of all, I'm so upset. But the way Simon, like, I can look at him and it says, his face said everything. I'm like, excuse me. Explain.
See?
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You got some splaining to do.
Kimberly Sestad, I love her.
Right?
She needs to be in more Hallmark leading movies.
I know. Yeah.
Like,
No.
She's only in a few.
It was a good get. We were really excited about that. So.
Yeah. So she's sticking around for another week, apparently.
Oh, yeah, she's like, by the way, I'm staying longer.
Of course she is.
Yeah, and Bree's like, and then Bree did the like, oh. Amelia's so funny.
But I like her. I like Caroline. She seems like a nice person.
Right?
She's obviously a writer. She's intelligent too. She could be a good friend to Bree if they got over the whole Simon issue.
Yeah, we're gonna just see what happens.
Maybe
Maybe a little tricky.
What does that look like?
Maybe a little tricky at first. I mean, I don't know.
I like Caroline though. She's cool.
This is what I feel like I've learned about all of Chesapeake Shores when it comes to the relationships. I don't like the people that come in and interrupt the flow of people's relationships.
No.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like Danielle.
Yeah.
And like now, what's her name?
Caroline.
I think that's why I have like a.
Well, yeah,
with her.
nobody likes those guys, right?
No,
Because you want a
yeah.
happy ending.
Exactly.
Right.
But the thing is, it's a TV show, so
Yeah.
You
You gotta-
gotta
it's not a
drama.
movie, right? So we have to like keep, putting a little bit
But
of
I
drama
feel
in
like
there.
we should have seen this coming because they mentioned the Caroline books all the freaking time.
Yeah.
We're like, we should have seen it coming.
We should have.
I didn't think about it.
No, we didn't.
one
I
of
did
our
not think about it.
Yeah, right? Like we've been setting her up for 2 seasons.
We didn't even like.
And it's
nobody
like,
even
oh, here
thought.
she is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But one of our favorite things to do when writing like the episodes is like come up with alternate titles for the books, like the Rest in Peace Caroline or like see you soon Caroline, like all, and we had so many, and like they're like in hashtags in the script, like and then I think we were advised maybe just take out some of them because like Michael and I would just like be riffing. We had so many titles for so many Caroline books because it's just like they all had a good flow to them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I kind of do.
It's always Caroline, then Forever. Is Forever Caroline?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Forever.
Forever
Yeah,
Caroline.
Forever
And then I can't even remember what's real and what's not real anymore because we had so many.
so many. Yeah, but she's sticking around for another week. We'll see what happens with her.
Yes.
But also Bree's manuscript is really the catalyst for the whole drama that was the last 4 minutes of this episode, which we'll get to right now. The family talk. Megan coming back into the family. Some people are more understanding, such as Abby and Kevin. Other people are a little bit more angry about it, such as Jess and Connor. Your thoughts? Carlina, let's start with you.
I love how you sat them on the couch supporting each parent. I think my mom pointed that out, and I was like, oh, I just realized that.
I
Like the
kinda thought
kids
about
were
that,
like
actually.
supporting, I definitely would have been on Mick's side of the couch for sure. It was just, I think first of all, I respect Megan for apologizing. I think that's what I've been wanting this whole season. I've been very adamant about it, and the fans, I was like, I want her to apologize to the whole family because it's obviously affected them.
Yeah,
you
we've
can
been
tell.
waiting for it for sure.
But I also believe, I think I was the only one on the panel who said, like, if I was Bree, I would still publish the book. All of you guys said you would
I was
stop
like,
it. And I'm like, no,
I
she
said
worked
she-
hard on that. Publish it.
Yeah.
So I think they, what we're probably going to see in the next episode is them really dive into it. Because obviously there's a story that Kevin said, like, you weren't there. And I've never seen Kevin, like, yell like that. And I was like, whoa. So we need to hear Megan's side because we obviously kind of know a little bit of, like, Mick's side, why she left and everything. But Mick was part of the reason, so I need to know what happened.
Yeah, they kept cutting Megan off too. She
Yeah.
she started explaining herself. She was apologizing, and then someone would cut her off. I'm like, let her talk. Darn it.
Well, the person usually in trouble, you usually don't let them talk. Even if you notice that in an argument,
Yeah.
you're usually like,
kinda gets vented out. Yeah.
They're like trying to apologize. You're like, no, you sit there, and then you just keep going.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like
Connor was
it's
venting.
natural.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it
Kinda
doesn't help
industrial
because the
venting.
O'Briens just don't talk anyway. So I feel like that's the moment that they were gonna just bash her like that.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, Julana, she's our other co-host who's not here. She's absent, but she said, and I agree with her, that this moment was gonna happen on the boat because that
Yeah, we
boat
agreed it
seems
would
to
be on the
be like the mending boat. So I was actually surprised it was in the house on couches.
Well, the boat plays a part in next week's episode.
Oh.
Yes. Finally, we get the boat.
Well, we did say the finale though.
It is.
For the boat.
It is the
Yeah.
the mending boat. It is definitely the place where healing happens. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I thought I was going to be on the boat as well because we got some, like the first half of well, at least we started the conversation here. They didn't finish it, obviously, because everyone just sat in silence. But I feel like the second half is going to be on the boat. Now they really have to hash it out and really talk it out, their issues on the boat.
Do we know why? Because Megan kept getting interrupted. Do we know why Megan was suffering during those times? She kept saying that in the conversation, but do we know why yet? Did I miss something?
Well, yeah, she said it without.
Depression,
It's basically, we are. We're limited as to how much we can go into certain things, but yeah, it's definitely from depression. And she kind of explained that to Bree in last
last episode.
She went into it she just really she got some postpartum after Jess, and then it didn't really get better, and then she was having a hard time and no one to really, seek kind of counsel and advice from, and she had all, it's a big family.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids, and and Mick's at that time, he was always working. He was always away. He was a workaholic. That's something that you don't see as much now because he's tried to change his ways, but at that time he was always away, always working, and she had 5 kids, and she just felt like she was drowning in herself, and wasn't the best mom, and she was sleeping a lot and those sorts of things. But we saw a bit of that with Bree, and she's trying to explain that to Jess in the last episode.
Yeah, I feel like the blocking of everyone is definitely on purpose because we have Connor and Jess who are the more angry ones with Mick, and then we have Abby and Kevin who are the more understanding ones, and the older people who have better understanding of just the situation. They're with Megan, and Bree's literally in the middle. She's very indifferent.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. Mike Roll directed this episode, and I'm not sure, if he was. I mean, I'm sure he directed it if he's responsible for the blocking, but it just, it was perfect. It just, it's exactly how everyone chose their sort of sides.
Right. So I felt like this scene has obviously so many emotions, drama, and anger. How did you just tackle the tone of this scene?
Well, it's tricky because we don't want to go too angry. That's not really what the show is. We don't go too heavy into that, and but we also wanted to be truthful, and we didn't want it to be an all-out yelling match. Although there were different versions of the scene where we just had everyone yelling at the end. That was an older version of it where it just was everyone. It was mostly Bree talking, and then everyone just suddenly just went. But then we decided to sort of script it out and felt this was a better way to do it. And yes, things change, right? And this just felt way more appropriate to who the O'Briens are and how they communicate or lack of communication. And we also wanted to actually script where everyone, so you really know where everyone's coming from. We really made it clear this is, Jess, this is the first time she's hearing anything, in Connor too, because the two of them that we're starting to show and make it more clear, they were the youngest, they were 6 and 8. They were imagine losing your mom and nobody really talking about it. And Abby was sort of took over the role of being a mother, but then she was graduating school shortly thereafter and left to go to New York, and then Kevin left pretty close after. So, they really were left with just Nell and their dad and each other.
Yeah. But it seems like they started a conversation, they have yet to finish it. And that moment ends in silence. That was painful.
Yeah.
It was deafening.
Yeah.
But so impactful, too.
Right. I know.
Man.
Yeah.
I love that the lines throughout the episodes, us family, we never talk. We're the best way. I was like, yeah, they don't. They really don't.
They
try.
don't.
They try, but
they try.
They end up not doing it.
Yeah.
I felt so
That's
awkward when
their
it
issue.
ended in silence. I was just sitting there like,
I know.
This is
It was so
the
awkward.
3rd episode in a row it ended in silence, right? No, I feel like
A little bit. I mean, Bree, the last episode.
the last 3, I feel like,
with Bree and her
I
dad.
think they kind of always do in a sense because it ends on a line and then there's the reaction. So I mean, because
Like that,
because Mick was like, you can't, I don't even know who you are or whatever. And then, we're on Bree. As her, like, face takes it in. Like, oh, no. Dad, you're supposed to be my safe place.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. So much left more for the finale.
Yes.
I'm excited.
And potentially for season 4.
Yes, of course.
Which we don't have an actual confirmation yet.
We don't.
No, we
So-
never know until it's like, it takes so long.
Yeah.
There's too many things to figure out, I think, behind the scenes.
Right. And I was told that you had so many rewrites and stuff because you were writing simultaneously while you guys were filming. So from the beginning process of like original storylines to what actually end up on the screen, how much changed within characters, within storylines, just over the season?
I mean, some of the big overarching is exactly kind of where we were planning, but they're like, hard for me to answer that because we still have an episode left.
Right,
So, you know what I mean? Without saying, well, we want to do this, but then we could, or whatever. Or we originally thought of doing this, but because you guys haven't seen.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I will say that there have been some definite changes and like reroutes, just based on like, oh, we don't know if this is the right direction for this, or maybe this is too soon for that, or maybe too, So, but there is. Some things like the book was always planned to be that thing with the season and to like kind of roll it out, episode. Well, we didn't do it in every single episode, but you kind of get a sense of how everyone stands. And we were waiting to do the Megan and Mick until the end of the season because that would be like so that was definitely, and Trace and his music, that was always the plan to get to here, so there's certain things that, like Kevin and Sarah, I mean, even though we didn't know about the inn right away, we kind of had an idea that we did know that there was like something like this was going to happen. So,
Okay.
There's certain things that sometimes you just don't know the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the journey on
Yeah.
how you get there.
And it's amazing that, as you write, you can have things as planned out as you want, but as you write, it really does reveal itself to you too. As you're writing, you're like, oh, wow, this is like, what if that happened? Or, and things happen organically, or someone throws out an idea that you didn't see coming. You're like, ooh, that's really good. So, things do shift. And also like production or whatever the demands are and locations or scheduling, and you're forced to change things too. So,
yeah. So from now season 1 to season 3, what relationship or which character or storyline have you personally enjoyed the most just watching unfold?
in season 3?
In anything, yeah.
Oh my gosh, how can I even choose one? I feel like the mother with the children, like who's my favorite daughter.
Right. Sophie's choice.
Yeah, oh boy. I like them. There's too many. There's too many. But I definitely, I'm a really big fan of the music. I love seeing, like, I've seen, like, watching Jesse. To me, he's like a rock star. He's really like, I don't know. I love watching that journey with Trace, and I really loved watching Connor like grow into this guy that like he was kind of, had this little bit of a petulant thing in season 1 where you just felt like, he just was really hurt, and that's when he really had his wall up. Couldn't even let his dad in, or he was very, but you can see how he's matured and how he's let people in. And so watching that growth, like second season was like the education of Connor O'Brien, in a sense of like we really got to see him like unfold. And then in this season, he's just really come into his own. And Bree and Jess are like, like kind of like my sisters from another mister. So I love watching their journeys and writing the two of them together. That's like so much fun. So I don't know. I mean, all of it. Like I love writing the stuff with Megan and Nell, and there's just too much. I mean, Kevin, Sarah. I mean, everyone. I love them all, guys. Do not make me choose.
Hey, is anyone asking any more questions
in the chat?
Not Jordan Blackstone asked, do you take the
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan. You know everybody. Okay. Do you take the audience reaction into consideration? I'm assuming they mean like for
yes, yes and no, in the sense that like we've already everything's shot, and so you guys are watching it and giving your reactions. We're like, oh well, we've already done that. So Danielle is here. Sorry, guys. Like so some things are you don't really
that would be number 1.
Yeah.
Me.
So right. So there's certain things that we just don't, but we definitely do. I mean, as much as we can, it's not always up to us too. We are working with a network, and Hallmark is very involved, which is awesome. Like they're really hands-on and care about what, you know, the show is. So the voices come from all over, you know, but we do care about what the fans say, and as much as we can. There are limitations to, like, sometimes we can't do certain storylines for various reasons, like, you know, there's like a lot of different reasons, but yeah, like we'll, you know, we keep that in mind, and then if we get a season 4, we'll talk about it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to ask, because I've been wanting this forever. Christmas movie.
Oh, God.
Chesapeake Shores Christmas movie. Can we get that going? Please?
Trust me, I've mentioned it to Hallmark. We've all meant, you know, like we all want it, and I think it's just maybe it's a financial thing. I don't know. The show is we shoot the whole show in the summertime, and so yeah, I know. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. Maybe they wanted to, like, get the show, like, you know that it was like a success, or had been around for 5 years before, or 5 seasons before they do that. I don't know, but I mean, I say Chessies just keep fighting for it, because they need to know. I mean, we tell them, they know, but like, let's really make sure they know, I think.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Because wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, go for it.
I really want to know if we're ever going to be able to read this book that Bree wrote, because if everybody's losing it, I wonder if, like, is there...
Well, it's not fully written.
It's going to be a thing.
It's not fully written. Like, there's all the parts. Those are written, right? Because we have them, and, you know, Michael will, like, or depending on, like, there's parts of one of my, it ended up getting cut out, actually, when Mick originally takes the book from Bree and he sits down to read it. There was a paragraph that we used to hear in voiceover. Oh. I know. And so we used to have more of that, but I think that it just maybe was, like, not necessary or whatever, maybe better to leave to the imagination, not get too specific, but we did used to have more of that, but the whole book is not written. I mean, come on, who has time for that? But of course, I know, right? I know, right? I actually would like to read it too, because it's like, it seems like it'd just be really juicy. Like so much.
Right.
So, and you replace, maybe, like, if they couldn't do the Christmas movie, we'll have the Bree book movie, like, where everybody's just watching.
Oh my
unfold.
God. The book adapted.
Yes.
There's an alternative to the Christmas movie.
I think you sparked something.
I don't know.
Because
Because it's different characters, right? There's Casey, and then I can't remember who Kevin's character, but he's like a rodeo guy, I think, or something, wasn't he? Like with the heart and stuff. Or
Yeah, but the scar.
The scar and scarred heart, and then and then Abby's character was Fiona. Is that right? I think that was Fiona. And so we, you know, they're not they're like the O'Briens, but they're not, right? There are other characters that are, like, going to have the exact same story and arc, you know, that the O'Briens go through.
So it's a companion to this show, which would be fun to read if that ever
It would be.
happened.
It would be. Okay, well, we'll see. If we don't get a season 4, then we'll be like, what can we do?
Yes.
How can we not get a
How do we
season
keep it
4?
alive,
I know.
right? How do we
definitely
not,
coming.
guys? We
Yeah,
gotta get a
it's
season
coming.
4. We gotta.
Yeah,
Gonna
so
get greenlit.
yeah, how can we keep it alive? Be hashtag Chesapeake Shores, hashtag Chessies,
Go Chessies.
tag Hallmark and everything.
Tag Hallmark, and I think
Let them know.
there's ways that people can email Hallmark directly, I think, on the website. I don't know. I haven't done it, but I maybe I'm totally misspeaking. But I know I've heard people say, I've contacted Hallmark and I've let them know. So I think there's a way to do that too. Just so, you know, because they do have, I mean, I think that, I'm not sure who's in charge of their social media and how, you know, it gets discussed within the company. But, you know, it's a big company, right? Like they've got a lot of people there. So we want to make sure that all the information gets to the top.
Yeah. Awesome. So one last question before we go. Where would you like to see?
What?
Yeah, time's up. But where would you like to see the show, the characters go for season 4 if we do get it?
Well, I can't say too much because you haven't seen the finale yet.
Okay.
So if I say, then I definitely want to see, then you're going to be like, I know it's going to happen. So, but I definitely think that we're not totally done telling what happened with the O'Briens, but like we are in a sense not wrapping up because it's not wrapped up, but we're finally having conversations that we've been waiting 3 seasons for. But I still think there's more, you know, and all of how the family, they are who they are because of what happened. They all the way they are in relationships with each other, with their partners. Is it because of what happened? They all, like are dealing with abandonment issues in different various forms, or however, if they, like Abby puts everything into her work, like they all are who they are because of what happened. And so I think there's still more story to tell. We can go deeper into that. And I think there's some like new beginnings for some characters that it will be fun to explore.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, who's your favorite relationship couple?
David.
David and Jess.
Okay.
David and Jess.
David and Jess. Okay.
I mean, right? I mean, that's season 2, the sprinkler kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
gorgeous.
Great.
Such a moment.
I remember watching it, and I think I literally like squealed. I was like, oh my god. Well, because when I wasn't on set, Michael and I were writing, and but I really wanted to be there for that moment. And so Matt Drake, who is the producer on the show, he called me right afterwards. He's like, oh my god, you're gonna freak out when you see it. They did it this way and this way and this, and I was like, oh my god. And then I got to like see the dailies, and I was like, yeah, David and Jess. David and Jess.
David and Jess.
How about everyone else? What's with?
I'm really loving Sarah and Kevin this season.
Yeah, right?
I really do.
Sarah and Kevin, too.
Yeah.
Really good.
Like, they've blossomed so much this season.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're so
yes.
good together.
I was gonna go with Sarah and Kevin as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you shocked?
No, I'm just seeing that the table is just
Don't ever
splitting.
get rid of Sarah. That's all I beg of you. Don't ever get rid of Sarah.
Yeah, no, we love Jessica.
Yeah, so do we. She was here last week.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
She is amazing, and like we have a really great 9 lead characters, but all of our supporting guest stars, or I don't even know if you call them guest stars, supporting cast, they are so fantastic.
Yeah.
Carlos, Jessica, Oliver, everyone. Who else is there? There's just so many. Yeah, there's so many that we've met over the years, and we've been really fortunate, really good cast. Are we over time?
Right. Yeah, Tay, real quick, who's your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Should we even ask? We know. All right, we've been there. All right. So before we wrap, predictions, real quickly.
Oh yeah.
And then.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I love it.
A voice right here.
It's like, what?
What we think is gonna happen in the future. I still think this blow up is gonna happen more on the boat.
Yeah.
And they're stranded out on the sea, and they have nothing to do but talk about it. They have to. It's like other television movies when people are having issues with each other. You stick them in one place. So, stick them in an elevator, stick them on a train, whatever. It's just they have to be stuck on this boat to talk out their issues. I'm going with that. Carlina.
Okay. I think Sarah's gonna move back to Chesapeake Shores, and Kevin's gonna keep his. He got the offer at the fire department as a paramedic, so he's gonna take that. And I think Sarah's gonna come back. She's gonna miss him. And she saw her family, but I think she's realizing he's family too. And she's gotten to know the O'Brien, so I think she's gonna come back. I really, after Megan said sorry, I really do want the kids to forgive her now. Everybody knows I was against Megan all season. Now that she finally said sorry, I'm actually in the middle. I'm like Bree right now. I would like to see them bend, hopefully. Yeah. Ideally, but I feel like that's a whole nother season.
That's the first time I ever heard you say that.
I know. I think the fans are probably gonna blow up the chat. What is she okay?
Yeah. Have you just turned a new
epiphany much?
I'm still the same person because Danielle needs to be gone. But
oh yeah.
No. See, I'm gonna give her and Connor a chance. We'll see. There's one episode. Next episode, I'll give them a chance and see kind of where it goes, because the fact that Kevin just drank his beer and he's like, whatever. Because, she caused one of the biggest blow-ups, you know?
Yeah.
So it's you don't get in between family.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, walking on water with her.
All right.
And Trace should definitely go.
Oh.
Okay. Tay, do you agree with that? Or what are your thoughts?
I think. Sorry, I'm bringing up David.
What a surprise!
Sorry, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
No, it's good. It's good. We all like David.
Going to eventually buy Jess a new business to run. I think that's how it's gonna happen. Just nod your head or something if I'm right. Okay, got it.
All over the place.
And Bree is not going to publish a book. I personally want her to, but storyline purposes, I don't think the family is just gonna get at her. It's gonna cause so many bruises and wounds. She's not gonna do it, or she's gonna edit it again out of her 1 out of 7 drafts that she did, and think it's gonna either get tweaked or she's not even gonna publish it at all.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's all that we have for today. Kirsten,
I just tried to have my
much.
game face on, as you guys are saying, because I can't lie. So I was like, sounds good, guys. Sounds good.
I'm doing really well. Like, Michael's so upset with my predictions. He's like, you're always saying what's gonna happen.
Oh man, I was like,
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Kirsten.
thank you guys so much.
Thank
This is so
you.
fun to be here.
Congratulations on all of season 3. In the meantime, where can we keep following you, Tay?
Tay Alexandria TV on Instagram and Facebook.
And people can follow you at
Kirstagram on Instagram and K_ear_sten. That's at whatever, and on Twitter.
Cool.
On Instagram at Cooking with Carlina, and then on Twitter it's at Cook with Carlina.
You can follow me everywhere at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Stick around, because we're also talking to Andrew Francis pretty soon.
Oh, you can talk to him about Danielle, poor guy.
Oh, we definitely will. So more great content for you all. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next time.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.